I, for not 1 second, thought that the Cowboys were about to come back and win this game. I didn't believe it. I've lost hope, if you want to say this is what it is. Didn't believe it at all. Kendrick thought it was a chance.
Well,
but I didn't think it. Didn't think it.
Well, I like to say it is. I think the Cowboys would have come back for 3 reasons. One, Mike McCarthy's another bad game management. Why he's going for 2 that early, and
2 times.
And he had to go for the second two point because he missed the first one, which got him down by 10 on that last possession. If they would have scored and just kicked the extra points, they would have had to go. They could have gone for 2 that time to tie it. Secondly, I like to blame the defense. Once again, can't get stops when you need it. Played lifeless in the first quarter, and some points in the game had that fall off look in his eyes on the eyes. Bad body language by the team. And then thirdly, I like to blame my little sister, Shams. 35 minutes ago, I told Walt, we coming back. And we were coming back. And then not a minute.
No, we weren't.
And then
we weren't.
Hold on.
For 1 second.
Hold on. Not a minute.
Nope.
After I said that, here comes Shams talking about pick coming.
Yep.
Pick coming.
Yep.
And I'm like, you just ruined the whole thing. We needed total positivity from you and Shams. And because we didn't have that, we lost the game.
Yeah, well.
So the loss got to go to Mike McCarthy, players' body language, and Walt and Shams.
Yeah, well, my body language was gone in the second. Listen, I had a bet with one of the youngsters at the shop. I just sent him his money in the second quarter. I knew where this was going. I sent him his money in the second quarter. I already knew it. With no sense of even dragging this thing out. I just sent it. Cashed after him right here and there. It's a beauty cash app. He didn't have to wait till Tuesday to get his money when he see me. He gave it to him right now.
Oh, man. This was a comedy of errors for the first three quarters. The Cowboys, once again, lifeless in the first quarter. Here we go again. Mike McCarthy showed more emotion in that last possession than he did the whole game, because I guess he was auditioning for being an offensive coordinator while he was calling bad play after bad play, because that's going to be his next job once he gets fired. It's not a good football team right now. And I don't know at what points how you can fix it. Once again, we talked about this in the pregame. I said, if you can't control Henry and Jackson, you're going to have a long night. Well, this is the rushing numbers. Derrick Henry had 25 carries for 151 yards, 6 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. He ain't looked this good in 4 years. Lamar Jackson, 14 carries for 87 yards. The Baltimore Ravens ran.
Unbelievable what was witnessed.
They ran the ball for 274 yards. Just 26 yards from 300 yards. That doesn't happen in a professional game. It happens in college, especially if you run an option offense, but not in an NFL game, not even if you are a quote running football team. And what happened? Ravens got in second and short, third and short, and the playbook was open to them. Anytime the Cowboys got them in third and long or second and long, they couldn't move the football. The play on the first down completion to Zay Flowers I told Walt they run the trip set over there to get Zay Flowers. I said that right to get him open, and for some reason the Cowboys didn't play it right and picked up a first down, but still had a chance, a slight chance, but there was Lamar Jackson with the ultimate pullout. No wonder he doesn't have any kids, but that's another news. But pulls it out and races for a first down to drop the Cowboys to 1-2 for a depressing 28-25 loss on this Sunday evening. But short week, Thursday, on the road against a team that got a win again, if you want to call it that, against the Browns, the Giants. So basically, they're the same team. They both got wins over the Browns and nobody else. Walt?
Kendrick, I know what to tell you. I mean, I'm done.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not even October yet.
I've officially checked out. I mean,
on September 22nd, 6:53 p.m. Sunday evening, you've checked out the season.
You've lost 3 games at home. So what? They're going to be a good road team. So is that what you're telling me? They're going to be a good road team.
They ain't got no choice because they're going to be on the road, and maybe that's what they need. Maybe they need to be on the road. Maybe get away against the Giants, and then got a little extended vacay to get open for a Sunday nighter against the Steelers. Maybe that's what they need. Maybe that's what they get on the road. It galvanizes you together. It brings the team together because boy, we had a bunch of side looks, complaining, team meetings. It ain't nothing together over there right now.
Shams said, "Oh no!" When I said I checked out before the season, Walt said I was crazy. Yeah, Shams, the record was 0-0. The record now is they've lost 2 games at home, 2 teams that one team that they should have lost to, and they've looked bad. I mean, they've looked really bad. I'm out. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still a Cowboy fan, but they're not going anywhere. They're not going in the playoffs. They're not winning anything.
Well,
this is a bad constructed roster. It's a poorly constructed roster. They tried to go cheap at running back. It's bit them in the ass. They tried to go cheap at receiver. It's bit them in the ass. They didn't. The O-line is terrible. The defense. Oh my God! I've been hearing about Micah Parson. Oh, he's Lawrence Taylor. He's Lawrence Lightner Taylor. He's all this and that.
He gets blocked easy now.
He gets blocked easy.
Also, to piggyback on your rushing, 51 yards today. 51.
Well, Kendrick, compose yourself here because we got a special guest. And you know what? Before I bring this man on, the last time we saw this gentleman, we were out in what was that? Rock Wall. We had those potholes at.
I had to fix a tire.
You had to fix a tire because you hit that pothole. He said something that was very influential, and I had to have him back on because he said the Cowboys, the way the Cowboys have built this team, I hope they pay for the way they built this team. The way they built it, the O-line is terrible, and they just think this team is one player away, and they're not, and they need to pay for the way they've built this team. Well, join us right now. We have him live right now, the General Gavin Dawson from 105.3 The Fan. General, do we have you?
What's up, dude? I made it. I'm in here. Sorry, I'm a little late.
Oh, no, you're good.
Listen,
good.
An L's an L. You're not late for anything.
Yeah, that was tough, man. I mean, shout out to the Ravens for allowing the Cowboys to compile some stats in the fourth quarter again. Their propensity for giving up leads nearly cost them, but, Cowboys couldn't make the 2-point conversions to make it count. So I guess the part of me is disappointed, but, I do believe, Walt, that we need to make this hurt for the front office. We need to have this season be as horrible as possible to, hopefully give them clarity on exactly the kind of football team they're going to need if they want to win a championship with Dak Prescott as their quarterback.
Yes. Yeah, like I said, when we were out there in Rockwall, you made a very, very compelling argument that this team needed to pay for. And I was just talking about it. They've gone cheap at running back. They've gone cheap at receiver. They've gone cheap at what, O-line? They've gone cheap at defense, and it's come back and bit them, man. It's come back.
Yeah. And now they've gone incredibly young, which is making them look silly on defense. But it hopefully, the Cowboys can draft well over the next couple of years, and in 2026 maybe be on the way back up. But the quality in the trenches right now is so below par, and then your running back play is so bad that even when you're getting holes, you can't make the defense pay for it. Right. We have no home run threat at all. Right. So it's going to continue to look bad, I think, against quality football teams. We'll see if they can start stacking up enough dubs against their division and a couple of the weaker teams on their schedule to maybe sneak into the playoffs. But I really think in years like this, the Cowboys just want to win enough games to be relevant, to get talked about for 18 weeks out of the year, hopefully be in position to make the playoffs in December. And that keeps the TV ratings going, right? And I think that's probably the best that we can hope for out of this season right now is a good draft pick and making the playoffs.
Gavin, you talked about draft picks. Let's just say the bottom falls out this season, and the Cowboys
already fell out, Kendrick.
Well,
on
September 22nd, 2024, the bottom has already fell out. Let's just say, okay, the bottom fell out. What would be your number one target? I'm just saying overall what this team needs in the draft.
Right now I think they need a great number 2 wide receiver. So that's what I'd be thinking with my first round pick. If that player isn't there, I think they could use another corner, another full-size outside corner to put Deron Bland back in the slot. If there is a great middle linebacker there, I would love that. If there was a great defensive tackle there, I would love that. If Zach Martin retires and there's and you're picking in the middle of the first round, an awesome right guard of the future could be an option. But I think before you get past day 2, if you want to get serious about winning, you're going to need to find a good running back. I like what they have going on the offensive line right now. Some stats say they're blocking it up really well in the run game. They just don't have the tailback that can see the holes and hit it fast enough to make the play. So I think, around the second round, maybe the third round, I think if there's a quality runner there, the Cowboys need to take them. Right now, I do feel like they're a running back away from being a significantly better team, but the defenses don't have to respect the Cowboys running game. They can stop it with a light box. They can play clog and cover against Dak, which has been his kryptonite for a half decade now. And, the only explanation I have is the Cowboys just don't want to throw resources at a position that is going to cost them without putting them, in a contender type of window. I don't think even a really good running back could fix what the Cowboys' problem is on defense. So I think the philosophy there has to be, we're going to, build out this team here in 2024, give a lot of young players a chance, hopefully draft well again in the spring of 2025. And then when we're ready to actually go for it again and our cap's back in order, that's when maybe you bring in the young running back and start the clock on them, because a runner is really only young in this league anymore for 3 to 5 years. And I don't think you'd want to be using them up in a year like this when your defense is so inexperienced.
We're talking with Gavin, the General Dawson from 105.3 The Fan. Gavin, did you at one point believe that this team was about to come back and win this game when you saw that pathetic comeback? I mean, this guy here sitting over here in the studio getting excited. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
First of all, before you try to call me out in front of Gavin,
Dawson. I mean, you have a history of pandering to the crowd, so here we go.
I'm not the one that was throwing stuff at halftime.
Okay,
right. I mean, just having a pity point, but other than that, Gavin Dawson just said it. the Baltimore Ravens have a way of giving up games that they should win. So when I saw them started driving the ball, and remember, the Baltimore Ravens won the most penalized team. I think they gave up over 100 yards in penalty yardage again. Yeah, it was a factor. Would the Cowboys deserved it? No, but the Baltimore Ravens throughout their history especially over the last 2 years, they give up games they should win. So yeah, I thought it was a possibility.
They do choke.
Go ahead, Gavin.
I never thought it was a high probability, Walt, but I thought there was a chance in there. As it was coming together, it seemed like they got every break that you could hope for about 7 minutes of game clock. Until Lamar Jackson got that last first down, I thought, man, maybe this could come together.
Yeah.
They start peeing down their leg, the Ravens do.
Yeah, they do.
They may have, but I'll tell you this. I didn't like CeeDee Lamb's body language today.
What was that? Sorry, I was buffering there a little bit or something.
I didn't like CeeDee Lamb's body language today. He's very mopey and checked out, and I don't know what was going on. If he was mad he wasn't getting the ball or what, but I didn't like his body language today.
I think this is why you need another receiver. You know, I think Tolbert and Brooks and Tolbert are good candidates to be your 3, 4, 5 on a team. I think you can find roles for them. You can find packages for them. But Baltimore showed up today, and they had the right game plan because they're smart. You know, and after so many years, you'd have to be dumb to not know how to beat the Cowboys. You don't respect their run. Now you stop CeeDee Lamb. Michael Gallup's gone. Brandon Cooks is past his prime. Jake Ferguson's a tad bit overrated. You know, you don't really. All you have to do.
Oh, sir, we can't let you get away with that.
Hold on. Whoa.
We got to circle the wagon back on that one.
Hello.
We got to circle the wagon back.
Whoa. Could you elaborate on that, sir?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, you know, I think Jake Ferguson's about a top 10 or 12 tight end in the game. But he's not a matchup nightmare. He's not a guy that you get the ball to when he makes stuff happen. He's a splash player every now and then that does something like jumping over somebody or, you know, hulking through a tackle, breaking tackles and stuff like that. But we don't see that every Sunday. You know, we see that every now and then from Jake.
So we got to add tight end to the list also.
I think he's pretty good. You know, he doesn't help you in the run game though. I like having Jake Ferguson on the team. Don't get me wrong, but he's not a guy that is going to make you pay if you're double teaming CeeDee Lamb. He's a guy that you hope makes some plays throughout the afternoon every now and then. At this point in his career, splash player still.
Yeah, I mean, we had to circle the wagon because somebody, I don't know, somebody said I was having an argument with somebody. They were saying he's top 5 in the NFL.
That was me.
That was you?
That was me.
Yeah.
That's why I said ho.
Yeah.
I thought he was breaking out into it a couple of times last year. I need to see it a little more consistent.
I thought last year had a great year.
Well, it sounds like you're in Gavin Dawson's word. You should be ashamed of yourself for the broadcasting you did when you said that he's top 5.
Well, it should be sound like you should be ashamed of yourself when you said the Cowboys are going to have a great year this year.
All right, well, we don't need to talk about that. All right, So, Gavin, let me ask you this also real quick.
I'm eating crow too, Walt. I had him winning 10 or 11 games. I need to bring that back to 8 or 9, I think. Maybe 7 or 8.
Go less than that, Gavin.
Go less.
6 7. Now, let me ask you this because I've heard this idea thrown around on your show. Kendrick he caught heat for it on this broadcast when he said it too. Are you done with Michael Parsons? Because I think Kendrick is done. And Kendrick wants to toss him up around for a trade. And I've heard that thrown around on your show, and a lot of people don't like the idea of it.
I would definitely listen. You know, pass rusher doesn't age as bad as running back, but it's one of the quickest aging spots. So, yeah, you know, I think the thing with Micah Parsons is he rushes the passer really, really well. What else does he do well? He gets nuked when you run that read option on him. He doesn't know to go with the runner, with the quarterback, he doesn't know. You know, if he was a stand-up linebacker like he was coming out of college right now, I think you'd say he's a disappointment for where the Cowboys took him. I just don't think that's a great skill set that he possesses. He's not diagnosed. He'll line up and rush somebody. And even at that, it's like he hasn't busted 15 sacks yet. So he's not up there with the absolute elites. He's not up there with Bosa and, Garrett and TJ. So I'd be up for it. You know, I just want to listen. I'm not going to do it for a 1 and a 4. But if somebody's like, man, we need the best pass rusher available, and here you go, here's 2 1s and a 3, something crazy, then I think you have to listen to it, especially because in my mind, the Cowboys are in the midst of their version of a rebuild. They don't broadcast it to the world because they want to be relevant every Sunday. I don't think they really have a great chance of being good again until 2026. So I'm not looking to burn 2 years of Michael Parsons' prime just sitting here good and getting TV ratings and selling jerseys for the Cowboys, because that's all the good you're going to get, right? If you could set yourself up to have more and more draft picks, I could get behind that, especially if you trade with a bad team, dude. A bad team that could end up, having another top 10 pick.
Well, there's idiots everywhere. You can find one.
When you watch Rico Dow run the football, are you looking like me and Kendrick? Are we confused? This guy does he not know how to read the run? He never hits the hole that's right there for him. I mean, good God.
Yeah, and it's move because he's actually athletic enough to do it, unlike Zeke and Vaughn. Those guys are too slow. So yeah, I think you're right on it. He just doesn't see it and has to, double back, or he doesn't see it in time. That's a tricky skill. Le'Veon Bell was the master at it. I was watching, who was it earlier? Josh Jacobs. He's an absolute genius at it, but it's tough, and it sucks because you definitely don't want to get caught overpaying a running back or overcutting assets to get you a running back. But there's definitely a big difference between the players that can do it and the ones that can't. And the Cowboys have made a mess out of it. I mean, taking Zeke with the 4th overall pick, giving Zeke a long-term contract, franchise tagging Tony Pollard, trying to make it with Joseph Randle and Darren McFadden. It is. They've had like 4 or 5 really good rushing seasons over the last 15 years, but their overall management of the running back position is a disaster.
Right. Yes, it is. So who gets fired? Which Mike gets fired first, Zimmer or McCarthy?
Man, I think if I was in charge, neither of them. I think overall McCarthy is about as good of a head coach as you could hope that the Cowboys hire. He keeps culture good. He keeps players healthy. They're happy around him. I need a young offensive mind off the Shanahan tree to be his coordinator, not Schottenheimer. I need a Shanahan offense guy to come work with Mike. But and then with Mike Zimmer, like it's established his first year is bad.
Every year, everywhere he goes, his first year is bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
It takes a while to get the Zimmer kind of players and the Zimmer kinds of mindset and the guys that you got as they transition over to his style. There's some growing pains.
Well, I mean, I hear you on that, but I just think that the Mike McCarthy tree is sailed. I mean, you can see it on the face of the players. They're resigned. And I know they're not a good football team, but you can see a kind of like a disconnect with their coach. When you start seeing guys not tackling, I mean, I saw Trayvon Diggs this whole first part of these 3 games really not try to tackle or try to do anything. I've seen guys on the offensive line just whiff and just kind of shrug the shoulders. I'm seeing CeeDee Lamb arguing with everybody, arguing with his quarterback, arguing with his receiver coach, arguing with his head coach. I saw that today. So I think when they've went 12-5 3 straight times and didn't reach the conference championship. That's never happened.
Yeah.
And I think to that point, that Green Bay loss, if you remember, Gavin, kind of like if you remember back in the 90s with the Houston Oilers, when they lost to the Buffalo Bills, when they had a 35-point lead in the playoffs, that broke that team.
Yeah.
And it was over. And you had to get away from the coach, no matter how maybe good for culture, I guess, or whatever it is. It just doesn't work anymore. And you have to have a new voice off in there, in my opinion, to lead this next generation, or whatever coming up with the Cowboys.
And I think if that happened, I'd be excited about like who the next coach could be and the chances that you would be remarkably better. But I mean, for me, I don't see the Cowboys knowing the kind of tactical coach that they need to take advantage of the new schemes. I just remember the Jason Garrett era. As bad as they are at running back management or finding a defensive tackle, I think they're worse at finding a head coach.
Don't worry, because Bill Belichick's next.
Right? Like, who else who are they really good? They'd probably try to go get Belichick, and that's terrifying at this point, even though he's the GOAT.
Yeah. What's that guy's name? He was at the Super Bowl. Me and him had words with each other. He tried to tell me Rex Ryan would have fixed this team.
Oh,
Balding Brian. He's
Balding.
Yeah. He's got a fake face.
They already had a Ryan. We seen how that worked.
Well, yeah, he got mad at me because I told him that. Well, I was like, that's crazy to think that Rex Ryan would come in here and fix the team. What's wrong, McCarthy?
Listen, that foot eater is where he needs to be.
Okay,
on ESPN.
So Mike Zimmer, you say it takes a minute. Is it his scheme or is it the players? Do we not have the right players? Do we not have the right scheme? What is it? Because it looks bad, and it's only week 2.
Yeah, I think it's the reads. I think it's the instincts. But right now, you're also dealing with the idea that your linebackers are either a little bit over the hill with Eric Kendricks. No disrespect to him at all. I mean, he once was a great player. Now he's just a pretty dang good player. But other than him, Damone Clark overruns everything. Leofau is just a whiff master. He got a lot of good to his game, but he's got a lot of growing up to do as a play finisher. And then Overshone is nice, but he's a little light, So, but more than that, like your inside triangle, your 2 defensive tackles and your middle linebacker, they got to be tough. They got to either be able to shed blocks or keep guys off the linebacker so they can run. And that fundamental part of a Mike Zimmer defense just isn't there. Now, when that is holding up and you can stop the run without having to commit extra resources, now you're in a good spot for, Mike Zimmer's secondary to do its thing and everything come together. But right now, you're really just seeing why Dan Quinn played the most man and the most single high safety in the NFL last year. This Cowboys middle of the defense is weak, and it needs extra help to bring down ball carriers, or the other team runs on you constantly. One of Mike Zimmer's main principles is 2 deep safeties, so it's really trying to change over the DNA of what this defense has been all about, which has been get up the field, rush the passer, play with speed, be light. They were in dime the most last year to, hey, we're going to be a physical type of football team. And, along with that, you need a handful of different players as well. So I think it's a very big project. I don't know if Mike Zimmer's young enough to see it through, or if he's just looking at this as like, this is my 1 year where I'm going to go back and coach the Cowboys, and then the coaching staff's going to get nuked and I'll be retired. So, but if Zim wants to do it, the history of him in this league is unrivaled. The respect that he gets from the players is second to none. I've been covering the Cowboys for 15 years. I've never heard defensive players talk about a coach like he's a guy with the answers like everybody does with Mike Zimmer. So I wouldn't be in a hurry to fire him. I just think he needs maybe another year or 2 to get this defense right.
Would you, since we have you here, Mike McCarthy has already spoken. Would you like to hear what Mike McCarthy had to say in the post game? Yeah, let's fire it up for the general right here since he's here. We don't want you to miss this.
Oh, this ought to be interesting.
Yeah, we have it for you right here. You don't even have to get the audio from the crew in the morning. We'll show it to you right here.
Let's go.
Mike McCarthy here. This is Mike McCarthy post game.
The bags of ice are packed, and it's going to be 4 quarters. Let's take this thing into the final rounds. We felt, just the start was where we needed to get going. They started faster than we did. 6 point at halftime. I know as a offensive play caller, I was frustrated. There's a couple of calls I wish I definitely would have had back. But you got to love the fight and the effort. But our execution is we need to be better. And when I sit up here and talk about all the work we need to do, those are the things I'm referring to. We got a chance. We had a chance here, and they made more key plays than we did. Just based off our big play production, numbers at halftime, we keep track of it. It was +8 and +8, but the score didn't reflect that. And I think clearly the 2-point play, or they got the big takeaway down there in the red area. And so we just had a battle back. You definitely want to get in front of that team. I mean, that's a team that plays to their strength and their profile, and aggressive on defense, and got excellent players, excellent coach. But we were not clean enough to get the win today.
Clarence Hill, All City, Dallas. That being said, how demoralizing and frustrating to not be able to continue to not be able to stop the run?
Our game of the season. Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely the last 2 weeks, it's going to be a clear target on us, and we have to. We have to stop it, and it's going. We got a quick one here, quick turnaround in New York. So yeah, it's our run defense and the attempts on our run offense we're not clearly on where we need to be right now.
Tim Calishaw, Dallas Morning News. You won the toss and took the ball this week. How much were you counting on the offense scoring some points and kind of setting a tone early in the game?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was playing to get the lead as fast as we could. That was part of that decision.
And you said you were frustrated as a play caller, but you got CeeDee Lamb with a couple drops and a fumble and a penalty. I mean, how far away is he from being the kind of player you need him?
Well, I think the second thing, especially a game like today, I think that the most important thing is to look straight in the mirror. We put a lot into this game. Not that we don't put into it every week. Our practice. Sometimes your preparation is really good. You don't play as well as you like, and there's times where your preparation is not very good, and you play better than you thought. And I think clearly this week our preparation was pretty much in line with the way we played. So this group works hard. I do. I truly love the locker room. They got a ton of fight, but we're going through some growing pains. So we need to continue to grow and get ready for this game in New York.
I like.
Okay, Gavin, let me ask you a question because Kendrick was very upset about this, and I'll let you sound off on him real quick. He was upset that we went for it. We went for two twice instead of kicking the field goal. When we came back around, I thought I understood where we came from because we'd only be down 3, and we could just get in field goal range and tie the game up. Do you agree with that method that they were trying to do when they went for 2 twice?
Well, what was the score when they went for it the second time?
What was it? 20-24?
But this how it went. Okay, it was 28-6, right?
Yeah.
They scored a touchdown. They went for it. Made it.
So at 28, you wanted them to go for 1?
Yeah, because I don't like the perception of chasing points, because I know you're trying to get them as fast as you can, but if you score and you just kick your field goals, your extra points, then the lead is 28-20. Now, when you score that last touchdown, then you can go for 2. I know the hyperbole is that, well, how do you know you're going to get all those many points? But I just don't like chasing, because when you start chasing points, the whole adage is if you start chasing points early, you got to continue to chase those points late into the game. It may chase you out of a win. That's all I was talking about.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I don't like going for 2 if I'm the Cowboys, I don't care what the odds say for the rest of the league. Our running ability, our short yardage ability is trash,
Right.
So
Right.
if you could go back to the very beginning and make it 28-13 and 28-20, I don't think that would be doing it wrong if you're specifically the Cowboys. I just think these head coaches are kind of like held to the math of what it says you should do. And if you don't do that, then your front office or the nerds inside the department are going to start talking about how you're such an idiot for not going for 2. I think the idea is we're going to go for 2, and we're going to give ourselves options that if we do have everything go our way, then we could go for the win. Or maybe we can set it up that just a touchdown and an extra point in the end would. But they want to know, as the game goes on, did that 2 work? Because if the 2 doesn't work, now they can speed up and try to manage the game in a way that'll give themselves more opportunities. Do we need this extra onside kick? And, I don't think either idea sounds great, but specifically for the Cowboys, I'm not looking to go for 4th and 2s, at midfield. Just put Aubrey out there. He's good from like 60, 70 yards away, right?
Right. Is Mike McCarthy, we always talked about this with game management with him since he's gotten here. Do you think that his game management has improved from now to what it was when he got here 5 years ago?
I really don't. I haven't heard any reason to believe that. I think it's basically the same methodology, and we know Mike McCarthy can't handle, the pressure and the thinking through of all the things that need to be thought out under the gun in the final 2 minutes of a football game. I think Mike's Mike in that department. What I would say is that every football team needs to have an honest conversation with their coach and say, man, this is too much to handle. We need to have computers and multiple people whose sole job is to be researching everything, so you can just focus on the plays that you want to call and the vibe of your sideline, or communicating with your quarterback, talking him through stuff. But this is so intricate and involves math and a lot of things that I think is just impossible to expect a head coach to be able to have the answers for as the football game is coming down to the conclusion. But the thing with these guys is most of them are control freaks, and they're slow to give up control, and they want to be looked at as the guy that has the answers. So that's a long way of saying I kind of agree with the Joneses. Invariably, Mike is going to mess up another one of these late games, and Jerry Jones is going to come on the fan the next day or the next couple of days and say, this is just what NFL coaches do. And he's going to be right about that, because they're not honest with themselves about how much help they need managing these late game situations.
Well, we have our next victim here. Michael Parsons just spoke. Would you like to hear from him too?
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely want to hear this one.
Do we have to?
Yes, we have to hear this one. I definitely want to hear this one.
We've been hearing a lot from him.
Yeah. Off the field too. All right, here's Michael Parsons.
We got people just trying to be Superman. People just got on their jobs, bro. We don't need everyone to be Superman. We don't need no Superman at all. We just need other guys playing together. And right now, it's just not in unison. I mean, when you're preaching something all week, everyone's in the locker room saying, we're going to do what we got to do, and everyone's going to be accountable. And when you come out, it's like, how are we getting gas? We're not being accountable. I said, it's like, the game going to come down to that right now. We do what we're supposed to do. We win the game. It's just like, at what cost are we just going to keep doing this to ourselves? They did exactly what I expected. Motion to 42, they're going to run to 42, Ricard. I mean, it's plain as day. I mean, we know when it's true pass it. Them guys is in damn near 4-point stands coming up the ball. So it's just like, at one point, are we just going to knuckle up and just play? I mean, for me, it sucks. I mean, it's a long year. I would say I never experienced something like this. I mean, my confidence is within, the organization, because we got to get it right. You know what I'm saying? It's a winning organization. I want to uphold that standard. But at the same time, everyone has to uphold the standard. And, I think I'm confident, in my faith. My faith. I just think we're being tested right now, man.
How do you not get people to place?
Bro, I have no idea. I'm gonna be real, like I said, I really believe we're being tested. I'm being tested. It has to come together. It's humbling. At your all-time high, God always finds a way to put you back down. And right now, we're low as shit. And everyone has to stay strong within their faith and say, at one point, are we going to trust in God, trusting ourselves, trusting the team, trusting the framework of the defense. Because any cost, like some of the stuff is at one point, like I said, it's just us being us. So when it's the faith and trust them to be there. Yes, I definitely think it's frustration, right? We talk, like I said, $3 has always been like a big brother to me. You know.
Well, the Cowboys were defeated, and Micah Parsons looks very defeated right now. Very, very low tone. The guy, so much for a guy who's so big when he walks in the room and talks.
Looked like last week.
Yeah, you know, Gavin. Before what was Thursday when we did a show, and then today in the pregame show, I said the one word that I didn't want to hear again today was effort, and we didn't do such and such. We didn't do, and here we are again in week. We got to do such and such. We got to do that. Was getting your ass kicked last week wasn't good enough?
I don't think he's a guy that is in just by the system he's in. I think he's a Dan Quinn guy. And I think this is a new system he's in. He's got to play a new, different way. And you can see it in his body language. He's throwing his hands up. He's on the benches with his hands spread eagle, slump on the bench. I don't think he's buying what Mike Zimmer and this new philosophy is selling. That's why I said about 10 minutes ago about maybe he needs a guy that needs new surroundings, because I don't think Gavin, it's just like this. I don't care how much talent you are at anything. When you don't believe in what you're doing, you could be the most talented painter or the most talented race car driver, whatever, most talented lawyer. If you're not buying what your company or what the goal is, you're not going to do it good, and it's showing. At least to my eyes.
I don't know. You know, from what I've heard so far, Micah likes Mike Zimmer, but I think maybe you have a point that the play style is a challenge for Micah to come around on. But I mean, him being disappointing in big games or in losses is nothing new. It happened last year too. You know, under Dan Quinn, he disappeared when he needed him most. And I just don't think he does much other than rush the passer for you. And if you're trying to play from behind, I don't know how good that is. But I think what I heard from Micah is acceptance that we're not that good. And after last week happened, we said we're not going to let that happen again. And then it immediately happened with what? Was it 270 yards rushing? You know? So that's when the reality and the depression hits. He said it's a long season.
Yep.
You know, they know they're not good now. Now, at some point, they're gonna hit a weaker part of their schedule. Like a major problem with these last 2 weeks is you came up against physical football teams that use misdirection and motion great, and all teams aren't like that. More teams are like that, but not all of them. So they'll have a chance to get rolling again, and maybe even Cowboy fans will be confident again at some point this season, but that'll be fool's gold.
Hold your breath. Don't hold your breath on that. About Cowboy fans becoming confident again. Well, I mean, how are we supposed to get confident that nobody's
this team's really good at beating up bad football teams. You know, and they got the
well, we'll see. We'll see on Thursday.
You know what? You're right. I want to strike that previous statement from the record, bringing up the schedule really quick. There's not consecutive bad football teams enough to make Cowboys fans confident again this season.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you go, okay, let's say they do. I don't know. Maybe did the Giants win today?
Yeah, they beat the same team you beat.
Yeah.
So basically the same. You're the same.
Showed you how bad Cleveland is.
Yeah.
Okay, so they beat the
Browns. Don't
Browns.
even think good about week one again.
Right. So they beat the Browns. Malik Neighbors goes off. So what? Do they have a good running game? We know what happens if you run to the left.
Well, it doesn't matter. Well, even if they don't, they gave up 190 yards last week and 274 this week. You don't think the Giants would change their game plan, whatever they're doing, say, we ain't running the ball at these guys because they don't like to tackle, especially on the left side.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, the Saints offense.
Diggs.
What's that?
What's that? Oh, continue, Gavin.
No, I was going to say the Saints looked very pedestrian today against Philadelphia. You know, their offense is nothing. Would they score like 12 points, 10 points, something like that? There's no reason to believe that
12.
Either side of the ball is good for the Cowboys right now. The Giants, they are about middle of the pack. They're getting 4.7 a rush attempt. They're going to run all over the Cowboys next week. But the good news is I think
it's
that's
a short week.
Yeah, it's a short week, and it's where is that game? That game is
in New York.
Ooh, that might be rough.
I
man.
cannot believe what my eyes are seeing right now.
What?
I cannot believe what my eyes are seeing right now. Has this ever happened before?
I don't know what's going
Gavin Dawson, right here, right now. I have an interview from Jerry Jones. I don't think we've ever had Jerry Jones before Dak Prescott.
Okay.
We got Jerry Jones right now with an interview that has popped up. And boy, oh boy, have I got to hear this.
It was that quick?
This is quick. You never heard Jerry this quick. I don't think we ever saw Jerry.
Gavin, if they get blown out Thursday, somebody could be gone.
I got to get down and talk to the media and sell something. What's he selling?
Wow.
Crocodile tears.
Let's hear from him.
Okay, here's Jerry. Woo. Okay, here's Jerry. My God.
And we can go forward with that. That's at least some taste end up in your mouth. We're sad, obviously, for our fans that we've lost 2 in a row here at home. But if things work like you'd like to have them, they can take some of what we had at the end there and bottle it up and go forward with it.
How concerned are you about the run defense?
Well, again, overall, Baltimore really did a successful job, let's put it like that, on both sides of the ball. And it wasn't until we were able to get a little more going at the end ourselves. But we've got a lot of work to do. But we've got time to do that kind of work. And we got a short week this week, but we've got to start. That was disappointing to end up at the end, getting back there and maybe having a shot at it. But when you look at the whole picture, we got outplayed today.
Jerry, that's 3 losses in a row now at home. How concerned are you about that the home field advantage doesn't seem to be what it was?
Well, I'm not going to close the stadium if you're asking me that at all. So, but seriously, those really hurt. I hate it. I'm so proud of every fan and every seat. Everybody's not in the seat watching on television. I hate it at home, but I hate it anytime the only real solution is to take the plus parts we got out there today. We were ragged in a lot of areas, and that can be improved on.
Ooh. I'm concerned. Was that before or after he went in the Cowboys locker room? That interview right there is my question.
It had to be after because I think there were players leaving behind him.
Okay. Oh, Gavin Dawson, what do you think the conversation was with Jerry Jones in that locker room with those players?
You know, I think he was, just probably trying to stay positive, emphasizing that, we got a lot of work to do, but, we finished strong and let's go get them. When you have a developmental team on your hands as a front office or a coaching staff, when you invariably struggle because you're not built for performance yet, you're built for development and for the future, it's not that unsettling. When you spend no money in free agency as a front office and you don't trade for anybody and you leave massive holes on your roster, this is coming. You might not get up on a podium and tell your fans about it because you want them to come and believe and be excited. But for Jerry Jones, he knows it. He knew it when he had to let Tyron Smith go, when he couldn't replace Stephon Gilmore, when he had to let Jonathan Hankins go, when he didn't find a running back, when he didn't find a new number 2 wide receiver. You know, all these things have been coming for Jerry Jones. He probably knew this year was going to be crap 2 years ago. You know, just looking at the way the salary cap is building, the need to pay Dak, the need to pay CD and Micah Parsons. And the thing that really sucks is these seasons will come for you, no matter how conservatively you operate with the salary cap, no matter how hard you try to be good every year so you can make the playoffs and keep the fans entertained. Bad seasons are coming. So when your window is open, you need to do what the 49ers do, which is, you know, go get Christian McCaffrey and try to trade for Justin Jefferson. You need to do what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did, which was go get Ndamukong Suh and as many good players as Tom Brady needed in order to make that Super Bowl happen. The Eagles do it with Howie Roseman. The Rams do it with Sean McVay, bringing in Jalen Ramsey, again, Ndamukong Suh, Von Miller. That's what the teams that are winning championships do. When they're close, they go get Hall of Famers to push them over the top. When the Cowboys are close, they got Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore. And, you know, and then invariably their season sucks, you know, because you can't stay good forever in the NFL. And then we're like, oh man, I guess we have to wait a couple of more years. You wait. And then when the opportunity is there, you really, really go for it. But unfortunately, the Cowboys don't understand that very simple idea that so many of the top teams in the NFC continue to do to run circles around them.
Okay, well, boy, they got these interviews out pretty fast today, which is shocking. They don't do that when they win, but today they're rifling through them today. Boy.
They're trying to get the hell up out of here.
Trying to get out of here for Jerry coming around. Well, next we got QB1 doing some talking. Very nice suit he's got on today too.
He can afford it.
Well, he look like he heading to a funeral. Open casket sharp is what he look like right now. Here's that.
Continue to start slow.
Yeah, very frustrating, especially when you're playing a quarterback like that on that side, an offense that powerful, explosive. You just can't do it. Honestly, just talking to some of the defensive guys, we got to look in the mirror, us offense first, and we got to help them. I mean, I know they're standard and they don't want to allow 28 points, but 28 points against an MVP player, an offense like that, it's a game that we've got to go score 30 in. We know it. We didn't do it. Started late. That's the biggest part of it. The penalties, some errors, I guess you can say, just whether it be alignment, whether it be assignment, we've got to be cleaner. We've got to lock in and be more focused on our job and take accountability every position and grow.
More in sync when you're 2 minute.
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe it's plays that we've ran, you know, from the first install. That's what you always say. 2 minutes install one plays that you've the first day all the way to the last. You've had the most reps at them. That could be potentially it. So maybe we've got to lessen the volume. Who knows? But us as players, we've got to be more professional and understand our jobs, understand where we're supposed to be, and do that time and time again and keep our focus.
Dak, Todd Archer with ESPN, you said be more professional. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, but by knowing where you're supposed to be, knowing your reads, knowing where you're supposed to line up, knowing your routes, knowing your route adjustments versus certain coverages. Every part of what being a professional is, it's doing your job and being prepared for every part of the job, however it may come. So time away from the building to being in the building, just being a pro and understanding that you can only get so many practice reps, but you can watch the film, you can do all these other things that will help make up for it. And we just got to be more focused. And that's what, to me, on offense, where we haven't been as focused as we should, had a lot of or a few mental errors that were crucial, I guess you could say, just the timing wise. And to me, it just goes into being professional and understanding what you got to do.
Sadius of The Athletic. Dak, with body language and CD's body language, how do you balance the passion that he shows versus making sure like he doesn't get too down either on himself or on the offense as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, reading body language, I'm not really into it. I'm just into making sure he doesn't get down on himself. the body language, whether it's good, it's bad, it's irrelevant. It's where his mind is, and so he's going to be disappointed when you're passionate, when you expect a lot from yourself. You're going to be that way. So for me, it's about just letting him know, hey, next play, wipe it clean. Who cares what happened when you have an opportunity to go fix it this next play or make a better play? So if you're sitting in that, dwelling on that, your mind's not in the right place to move forward. So for me, it's about just always talking to not only him but the other guys of don't dwell. You don't have time to dwell. You look at the way that game ended, and I feel like if we don't dwell in different places on offense, it's a different game, obviously. And who knows, a 2-point conversion away from a tie game and a red zone trip away from a different ending to that game. So that's my point, is you can't dwell. Things happen fast in this league, and you always have an opportunity. You always have a chance, as long as there's times and as long as you have the ball.
Okay, so this is the one time where I'm about to come on here. Well, it's not one time. Dak Prescott is 1,000% correct. I just asked Gavin about CD's body language, and I told you it was bad. Now, today's loss, I do not put on Dak Prescott at all. But boy, was he just taking a lot of shots at CeeDee Lamb there in that press conference. Can't nobody tell me different. That's who he's talking about. That's who he's talking about being a professional, because that's who was on the sideline throwing a hissy fit. And if I remember one of the plays they scored on, they got downfield on. He wasn't even in on the play. He wasn't even in on the play.
And that was the problem. Well, he was in his own head. So basically, the coach had to take him out and get it, and so he can get his head right, because obviously it wasn't. He was dropping passes, slapping his helmet, talking with defensive backs. They was getting in his head, and you can see it. He was arguing with his receivers coach all day. He's arguing with Dak Prescott. He had a little gripe fest with the head coach over there. So he was upset with everybody, including himself. So that was much about him being professional. We'll see what comes to that. I'm pretty sure it'll get back to him. So we'll see.
Wow.
But he's 100% correct. Your body language, but it wasn't just him. It wasn't just CeeDee Lamb. Micah, I saw Tank Lawrence. I saw Turpin. His body language was bad. It was about 10 other Cowboys. So he could be talking about CeeDee. He could talk about the culture of the whole team, but what we saw on the TV screen mostly was CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, and that's been an issue for CeeDee. I think it's just a symptom of when things aren't going well. It bothers me when CeeDee seems to be like the first to get in a bad mood. Like halfway through the first quarter of the Packers game, it was already there. So, but I think he's also talking about the youth and trying to be a veteran leader and telling these guys it's not just coming to practice and being like, cool, I'm working hard. The best ones are constantly working, even when they're away from the building, to know more, to be more prepared to watch film. And, again, it's depending on a bunch of guys that haven't done it in the league or did it so long ago because they're washed up. But Dak is the consummate pro. He's never going to get rattled when, the bullets are flying. He might look a little shook from time to time, but he's not going to vent on the sidelines in a way that makes it worse for people. I just don't have a big problem with it. I remember they used to talk about how Dez would get too excited, and it's like, usually, it's just the toxic nature of losing. And sure, your more volatile personalities, oftentimes your wide receivers display it in a way that maybe not everybody likes, and it's frustrating, but I'll take it from those guys. I just think they care about winning a lot. They have high expectations and high standards. And the last thing we need around the Dallas Cowboys is anybody that's okay with getting their butts whooped.
Gavin, before this season started, or I'm sorry, not before, the preseason, I was very adamant and I was very, very critical of this team for not playing their starters in preseason. And everybody told me, oh, it don't matter, you need to chill. And I was like, no, If Patrick Mahomes can take himself out there and play in the preseason, the Dallas Cowboys need to play their players in the preseason. And you know what? Kendrick today said, you know what? Maybe he was right, Walt. Maybe they should have played some of these guys in the preseason. Trevon Diggs definitely should have been playing the preseason. He coming off an injury. Of course, CeeDee Lamb was holding out, but these guys should have been playing the preseason. And you can look at it. The chemistry is not there with this team right now. There is no chemistry.
The Chiefs practice the hardest. They play the most in the preseason. Andy Reid's a great coach. I wouldn't be mad if they did that. I think, especially with young players, anybody that's not accomplished a lot, I think even if you're a starter, you should be playing more. A lot of it's the continuity, the offensive line. Offensive line play is down so much. I do lean on keeping my guys healthy, though. I don't want to see them get hurt in a meaningless game because the injuries can happen at any time and just totally deep six your season for meaningless football. And the Cowboys have kind of been consistent with what they've done over the years. And they won 12 games, right? The last 3 years. It's not a matter of starting well if you have the players. I think it's a matter of being better, being tougher in January.
And I think it's a more of a philosophy thing. Ever since Tony Romo literally broke his back in a meaningless preseason game, it's been a philosophy change, especially at the quarterback position. We're not going to risk guys who make some lot money to injury. I think that's just how the philosophy thinks now, that they're not going to do that. Now, some teams have different philosophy.
Play one series.
Well, I'm just saying,
or a quarter
it happened.
Or something.
It still happened. Tony Romo was this team's starting quarterback, and in a meaningless preseason game, remember they drafted Ezekiel Elliott for him, for the offense to balance him out, and he broke his back. Now we didn't know that Dak Prescott, at that time we was calling him Dakota Prescott, was going to turn into this type of player. In the next week, starting against the Rams in that next preseason game, that happened. So Cowboys got lucky, but that's the reason the philosophy change happened. They don't want to risk their star players.
I think it's a load of crap,
and I can't blame him for that.
I think it's a load of crap. Patrick Mahomes can take his team out there and play a Super Bowl champion,
and
that's why they win Super Bowls, and that's why they stay on top.
And guess what?
They're always hungry.
And guess what? All it takes is Patrick Mahomes having the wrong step and blowing Achilles out, and then I want to hear Chiefs talk radio the next day.
Well, just be at the AAC with the Mavericks like he always do. recording voiceovers.
He would have enough time to do that
instead of us getting Dak to do it. Okay, so I'm gonna guess that they're done with interviews for now, not unless CD is about to speak.
That'd be really interesting.
That'll be short.
Oh no, that's Rico Dowd. It's Rico Dowd. I don't want to hear from him. Forget him. He's
from Rico.
No, I don't want to hear from Rico. For what? He's already let me down. I'm already done with Rico. I'm done with the experiment. Get lost. Just like I was done with Tony Pollard when he got fetched on the 60-yard run last year.
At least Tony Pollard could see the holes. Now he couldn't pop him for anything, but at least he could see you.
Jesus Christ.
Just saying.
Okay, Gavin. I think we've taken up enough of your time with this sorry ass football team. Good God.
Man. We only have another 2 years to wait before they can be good again. We'll be all right.
I was going to say about 3 months.
Whoa! All right. I gave the Cowboys a 2-year window.
He went 2.5
years. I gave him a 2-year window. This year and next year. I was like,
the good thing. Basketball season starts in a few weeks.
Okay. Let's go.
Hockey season starts in a few weeks. See,
yeah.
Kind of gave you Dallas Wings.
No, they already threw. Hey, Paige Beckers is coming. She's coming.
Let's go.
All right.
I can't even get fired up.
Help is on the way. Now the Rangers
back to the finals, Walt.
The Rangers suck again, but they did win the World Series, so that takes care of that.
They're on a victory lap. We'll let you know. You said we're gonna do what? You said we're gonna do. You said finals again?
Yeah, Mavs are going back to the finals for sure. Wire to wire, first place.
I don't know about this year.
I'm here for it.
Next year, next season, I got to win the championship. No, nobody.
Next year. What's going to happen in another year? Kyrie's going to be older.
Yeah.
He's going to be
now
retired.
It's just okay. It's just that nobody repeats. Nobody repeats. It goes back to the finals, right? So that's one. And then number two, I just think that next year it's all gonna come together, and then that's when they're gonna win.
Well, you better hope for Derek Lively turns into something.
Oh yeah, Derek Lively will be ready. Derek Lively's gonna be ready to rock. Kyrie,
I get Kyrie one more year.
Yeah, I would say Kyrie may or may not be here next season. We'll see how this season goes because his age kind of showed in these playoffs, kind of bad. So we'll see how Kyrie does. But we got Clay ready to go. We got some young stuff going on. Next year.
Get excited!
I am excited. I'm very excited. Well, of course, Thursday we'll be at we'll be at Very Best Barbecue. We coming to Fort Worth. Fort Worth. I don't even know why we coming to see you at this point, but we coming to see you.
Way to poop in the punch bowl.
I mean, good God.
At least it'll be over quick.
Yeah, Gavin, you
probably don't mind a train wreck. There's still plenty of content to be had.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, because
keep a sense of humor about it.
Now the post game show going forward is just going to be they lost this week, so where do we go from here?
Yeah, how many teams do you think they can beat on the schedule still, other than the Giants and Commanders?
When I started, I said
I'm sorry, I had Washington winning the division. Can't go with you on that beating the Commanders deal.
I had the Eagles.
At Carolina's looking winnable, guys.
Okay, Carolina's looking winnable.
What? No, hold on. Anthony Dawson had a nice game today.
Oh yeah, you don't want none of the
nice. He was throwing up the TCU horn flog symbol. I mean, he was looking nice.
Okay, what about the Steelers? That's a Sunday night game. We do
the hard-nosed football team.
No.
Yeah, I think they went 3-0 today.
Okay,
Lions,
Falcons.
Niners, L.
Bijan.
No, we're losing the Buccaneers.
That's Bijan right there.
Oh no, we're losing that. If you see the way they throw the football, they throw nothing but deep passes.
Yeah, I think they lost to Chicago today, though.
Oh, they
lost to Denver. That's who beat them today.
Oh, Tampa. Yeah,
Denver destroyed them. Yeah, Bo Nix actually looks pretty good.
Okay, so what about my battle for I-45? Oh, we don't play good on Monday Night Football at all. So that's an L. So looking now at the schedule, how many that you've got them down for a lot of L's.
I think I got them 6-11, if I'm being honest. Maybe 7-10.
I think that's about right. Because I had them 9-8, and I'm backing off of that.
Yeah. Retreat.
Wow. Okay. The Giants might even slip up and beat us one.
I think Dak's good enough to get them with this team to get them 6 wins.
Dak owns the Giants. You know, he's going to score. Now, if the Giants' offensive coaching staff wants to win, they'll run Danny Dimes 20 times against us and win. You know, while scoring 40 points. If you have an athletic quarterback, just run him. It's easy. You know. The biggest thing is how much do we want to risk?
Let me ask you this, Gavin. Is there any trade that you see we could make? Is there any trade you think we could make that could get the Cowboys back rolling like they did the Amari Cooper when we got Amari Cooper that one year?
I think if you would get a running back, I haven't looked at what running backs are going to be available. The trade deadline is week 8, so I imagine in the next 2 to 3 weeks. The rumors will start heating up as teams with multiple runners, you know, have one that's approaching free agency. So I'm sorry I don't have a name right now, but I think if you could run the football and you could play ball control and take the pressure off of Dak and CeeDee Lamb a little bit, you could get into play action. I think they could build a game plan, which is just stunning to listen to Jerry Jones talk about, you know, hey, we're fine at running back. Even sounded a little bit more open-minded, but I would look for Dalvin Cook next week, and then if that doesn't shake anything loose against the Giants, then we need to make a trade. If you want to save this season, pressure off your defense, off the trade. That's the whole deal.
There's so many holes out there on this team. Mine will be nose tackle. You got to have Billy someone to stop the run. Nose tackle or middle linebacker. You got to have something because that's to me is the weakest point. You cannot stop the run.
Yeah, I think the issue is right now they're so far up against the cap. They really need these next 2 years to play out with their payroll to get all the bad off and to get them under the cap again. And every dollar that you spend or $5 million that you spend right now is furthering that problem forward. So I think it's just kind of a cleansing the palate situation. I don't think they're going to spend any money or draft picks because they need players on rookie deals. So it's tough to see them actually going out and doing that. I think their only bullet they have left to fire at the running game realistically is probably Dalvin Cook.
So the last week, I couldn't believe I said this, and I don't know why I thought this, but I said the Cowboys actually are missing Michael Gallup right now. And then I said, well, maybe I shouldn't say Michael Gallup. Maybe they're missing a player that allows them to go deep and at least take shots downfield. I feel like that's the type of receiver they need.
Absolutely, man. And I hope they draft one next year. They needed what Michael Gallup was pre-injury. After the injury, he aged bad and didn't overcome the injury and became like a bad old washed up wide receiver. Looks like he's got a good gig going as a internet guy. You see his Mountain Dew skit? Mm-hmm. This guy's like man on the street, Mr. Personality. I think he might be like an X Games type of sideline reporter dude, which totally shocked me because he was never like that animated as an interviewee. But you put the mic in his hand, make him the host, dude. Michael Gallup's like a internet influencer guy here. He's found his post-playing career pretty quick.
That's and where did you find this video of him at?
He was on his X page.
My phone.
It was on his X. It was on his Twitter.
It's on his Twitter, huh?
Yeah.
Michael Gallup, influencer. Wow.
Influencer, interviewer. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but there's no doubt he's making it happen in media. But I think you're right that they need another good wide receiver. Brandon Cooks has gotten old the last 2 years after all those 1,000-yard seasons. His last year in Houston came up short. Last year came up short, and right. You just add to the list of the graveyard of playing with Dak Prescott as your quarterback if you're a wide receiver. Amari Cooper, Dez Bryant, Brandon Cooks. Michael Gallup had a couple of good years, and CeeDee Lamb is amazing. But other than that, it's been like you'd have to be Dalton Schultz or Jason Witten or Cole Beasley if you want to catch 85 balls or more a year from Dak Prescott. I just don't. I don't think a lot of wide receivers are a great fit with him.
All right, Kendrick, you got some numbers real quick, the stats and facts?
Yeah, let's get to the stats and facts of today's hot deal. All right.
Steaming hot deal.
Yeah, it was a hot deal.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Total yards, as we get into the team's total yards, the Ravens compiled 456 of them to the Cowboys 411. Most of that was in the fourth quarter. Passing yards, most of that was in the fourth quarter. The Cowboys had 360. For the Ravens, didn't need to pass the ball that much. They had 182. But they needed all of these. 274 rushing yards. I repeat, almost 25 yards away from 300. Wow. Meanwhile, the Cowboys couldn't run the ball at all. Only had 51 yards. The Ravens had 7.6 yards per play. To the Cowboys 5.9. The Ravens also was 5 yards per play on the ground. First downs, 27-24 favor of the Cowboys. On third down efficiency, the Cowboys were 7 out of 13. The Ravens were 4 out of 9. Fourth down efficiency, Cowboys 0-1. The Ravens didn't have to run a fourth down play because they were too busy giving it on second and third down. Total plays, Cowboys ran 70 of them. The Ravens had 60. Sacks allowed. The Cowboys gave up 3. The Ravens didn't give up a sack. Both teams had 4 points apiece. On those penalty yardage, the Ravens had 13 for 105. The Cowboys had 6 for 44. And fumbles lost. The Cowboys lost one. Interceptions, neither one had one. And time of possession, the Ravens won this big time. 34 minutes and 43 seconds to 25 minutes and 17 seconds for the Dallas Cowboys. Individual stats. Let's get to the Cowboys. Dak Prescott on this. They get to my what's called it. Okay. 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 Well, it was Dak Prescott. I think he was 29 or 51, 350 yards. Something
Not
like
bad.
That. Well, you had that
A good game, 91 QBR, dude. Dak lit it up.
See?
Yeah.
It ain't his fault we lost. Just can't wait to get to the defense. I can't wait to get to the defense side of all. That is where I'm probably gonna be like, ugh, disgusting.
Okay. Oh, actually, let me repeat that. Dak was 28 of 51, 379 yards.
Still not bad.
2 touchdowns. No interceptions on this game. But I repeat,
that's the most important stat.
But I repeat, most of this was in the fourth quarter.
Okay, but still, that's the most important stat. No interceptions. He threw 2 last week.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. So he didn't turn the ball over.
It still got hot heels.
All right, well.
Okay. Rico Dow was your leading rusher.
God.
He had 8 for 32. Probably had more of that if he looked up at the line of scrimmage. He did average 4 yards a carry. Didn't have a touchdown. Dak Prescott had 2 carries for 7 yards. Had a touchdown also. My God. Have the mighty have fallen. Ezekiel Elliott. Somebody throw in the towel.
Shout out to Mama E.
Shout out to Mama E. He had 3 carries for 6 yards, just 2 yards a carry.
Oh hell no! Oh hell no! Read that again.
Yeah, three carries for 6 yards, 2 yards a carry. Now let's go that Dak had to throw the ball for anyone, but on the other end, he didn't really get on the field in the first half. So Deuce Vaughn.
Gavin, you still got that green egg?
Yeah.
Throw me on there after looking at those numbers. Good God.
Deuce Vaughn had a couple of carries for 5 yards. He had 2.5. And Turpin had a catch for had a carry for a yard in this game. Receiving, Jake Ferguson was the high man. He had 6 receptions for 95 yards, 15.8 average.
That's doable.
CeeDee Lamb.
Oh God.
Yeah. He had a lot of drops in this game. We'll just get to the receptions. He had 4 for 67. Probably had a little bit more if he'd concentrated.
According to Dak, he had just been a professional. He probably could have.
He just been professional. He had 16, almost 17 yards average. Turpin had 3 for 51. He had a 17-yard average and a touchdown. Jalen Tolbert had 3 for 42, 14-yard average. Also had a touchdown. Lupke had 2 receptions for 41 yards. Had a 20.5 yards average. That was because one big reception he had. Rico Dow also had 3 for 24, 8 yard an average. Brooks also had a catch for 24 yards. Cooks, yeah, he's washed. 2 for 16. Deuce Vaughn also had a catch.
Hold on. Go back to Cooks.
Yeah, 2 for 16.
Two catches for.
Yeah, 16.
He's his last name. He's Cooked.
Yeah, he's Cooked
Officially.
Yeah. Deuce Vaughn also had a reception for 8 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, he's back in the stat. He had a catch.
Why?
He had a catch for 6 yards.
You could have read that with the first one. You didn't have to read. You
So
didn't have to break
basically,
that one up.
he had 3 touches for 12 yards. Scooter, he also had a catch for 5 yards. And Tyler, well, I guess you can call that a catch. I guess this goes into a catch when Dak threw the ball. He had to catch it with a drop, though. So we'll leave it at that. For the defense.
Oh, God. Brace yourself, Gavin. It's the defense numbers.
Rookie corner Carson had 6 tackles.
That's 2 weeks in a row they picked on him.
Yeah. Also had assists. He did miss a big tackle that led off to a big pickup by the Baltimore Ravens. Eric Kendricks had 5 tackles, 7 assists. Dang. Trayvon Diggs had 5 tackles.
What?
I didn't see that.
Who did he tackle?
I just saw people running to the sideline and him just running with him. But obviously,
or running by him.
He had 5 of them. Also had 1 assist. Malik Hooker had 5 tackles. Your boy Michael Parson, he had 5 tackles. 1 assist. Didn't have a sack in this game again. Overshawn also had 3 tackles and 3 assists.
And he wants to go train for the Olympics.
Smith had 3 tackles. D-Law, he had 2 tackles and 3 assists in this game. Clark, he had 2 tackles and 1 assist. Donovan Wilson also had a tackle and 5 assists. Uzi, he had a tackle and 2 assists. Nealon also had a tackle and an assist. And Jordan Lewis, he had 2 assists. Golston also had an assist. For some reason, the wide receiver Brooks is on here. I don't know why. And Lupke, so they're on the offense. But yeah, that's it for the defensive.
Talk about our outstanding kicker. What's his numbers?
Well, I mean,
the only person who scored today.
Listen, he had 2 for 2, 100%, had 7 points, had a 65 yard long.
Sounds like an MVP to me.
Yeah. Brian Anger. He also had a good game. He was
don't read.
But he was a Pro Bowler.
Don't read his stats.
He was a Pro Bowler.
Don't
had
read
4
his
points. Had 209 yards total on those 4 points. 52.3 yard average. He got inside the 22 times. So your special teams is doing good. Shout out to Bones Foster.
Your Aunt Judy says, TK, how about them boys? That's from your Aunt Judy. So you have family members watching the show now?
How about them boys?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, how about them? How about it?
Gavin, you don't know this, but Kendrick lately has become a fan favorite around here. We were at the tailgate last week out there at the stadium, and he's got people coming up to him and telling him how much they like him and everything like that. We go.
They gave me some New Orleans.
Yeah,
colored beads.
Got beads and everything.
That's nice.
He's become a fan favorite, so now he's kind of taking on the role of pandering to the crowd.
Really?
Now he likes to.
I speak truth, and now I'm pandering.
I just found it funny last week that when the Saints scored, you had so much to say, but when the Cowboys scored, you just sat there.
It was a lot of that. That's why I had so much to say.
Well, I'm just saying you were quiet when the Cowboys scored. You just didn't. You had nothing.
Well, it wasn't that many of that. That's why he had so much to say.
Catching his breath.
Thank you.
I tell you what, Gavin. Last week, if we never do another broadcast, I'd be fine because that was the greatest broadcast that we ever did at a tailgate last Sunday.
Oh, fun.
Man, listen.
Saints fans are cool.
Saints fans, we were surrounded by Saints fans. They were dancing all around us. They were dancing on us. I mean, it was crazy out there.
You weren't dancing today.
Yes, the Freaknik did break out there.
Not the freak off like Diddy, but the Freaknik.
Okay.
Those 2 different deals. Right. There's no baby oil or the other things that were confiscated from Diddy's house. But yeah.
You say confiscated?
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, it was a really good time. I mean, there was food everywhere. There was alcohol everywhere. It was just good people, just good time and good fun. Like, it was really a fun atmosphere. I think they said we might go back for the Eagles game, but man, I've never been around anything like that. And I've been around you for some stuff, but that right there was top of the line.
Yeah, dude, I think the tailgate scene at AT&T is amazing. And a lot of times I think the best thing to do is just stay out there and watch the game on TV with those animals.
I mean, if you just walk, let's say you just walk to the car, somebody's gonna pass you, be like, "Hey, we got food over here. Come get some food. Come over here and party. Come hang out." It's nonstop.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it was a really good time. We definitely want to do another one.
Well, invite me next time.
Yes, I think what we're gonna do is I think we're gonna do it for the Eagles game if it's not cold outside.
Okay.
Because it's like November. It's like in November. So we definitely do that. Oh, we had to go rent that generator. We had a generator and everything. We had to go rent to go out there and broadcast.
Yeah, but everything was nice. Everything was
man. I'm telling you, man, it was a good time, man. Just surrounded by good people.
Yeah,
everything was chill, man.
Well, that's good, especially if they're still chill after a game like that, man. That's confirmation.
I think this had more to do with we had a great crowd with the Saints fans. Like I said, I've been at the tailgates. The Saints fans, those some of the coolest people and partyest people you ever want to meet, man. It was we saw it. It was Mardi Gras.
It really was. It did turn them on. I mean, even after the game, they were just up dancing and they started a line of dance. It was. I'm telling you, man, it was a beautiful.
I heard that's called a second line.
Yeah. They had started one, and as you know, when we were sitting there at the start of the game, Kendrick was like, "Man, showing a lot of Saints fans walking to the stadium instead of more Cowboy fans." And as they was leaving, they was just stopping by and just showing love.
There's going to be a lot more of that as the season goes on because as a Cowboy fan, why would you not sell your tickets to these upcoming games? I mean, unless it's just the thing that you do. I don't want to go there.
Hey, Jerry's getting paid. He's cool either way.
It's funny because it's true. You're right. Why would I want to go to the game? I might as well sell my tickets. I might as well go.
I mean, I think you get a lot of money selling them. It's a bucket list for a lot of fans to come to AT&T Stadium and demolish the Cowboys. You know, you won't get another opportunity like this very often.
There's a lot of Raven fans having fun out there.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I don't know about this place, but what's that? Thursday we're gonna be out in Fort Worth for the Cowboys Giants game. We're gonna be at Barry Best Barbecue live. Kendrick, you say you want to try that? What's that you want to try again?
Frito, brisket Frito pie.
Yeah, brisket Frito pie.
Ooh. And you got smoked brisket to anything, I'm in.
Yeah, he's got brisket nachos. I definitely like his oxtails. But yeah, so Kendrick is coming to try the brisket nachos. And Kendrick, listen, 817 Tarrant County. This is your guy now. Come out there and see him. He don't come to Tarrant County much. He don't get out to the 817.
Oh no, I really don't go west.
Yeah, he don't go west anymore. So you better come see him. He's giving you an opportunity to come out there. You better come see Kendrick live Thursday night.
Yeah, come on down.
Yeah, damn, we don't have no, we gave away that side too. We gotta find something to give away.
I mean, win, lose, or draw.
Lose. Most likely lose.
We'll be there for it.
Yeah. Well, definitely want to thank Gavin Dawson for joining us here on this broadcast. Thank you so much. We've got to do this again.
Anytime, dude. Always good to see you.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yeah. I know you moved out. What do they call it? You moved all the way out there to the boondocks.
Yeah.
I bet you got a full neighborhood.
County. What's that?
A full neighborhood now. The last time I seen that, they were barely putting them houses out there. I bet you they got a full neighborhood over there by you now.
Yeah, they're just about done building.
Yeah, the pizza house, pizza man probably actually can locate you now. At first they couldn't locate you; they had to drive. So new.
Yeah.
No,
we're good. We're good out here, man. It's always good to be on with you guys. I love your Cowboys takes, and your community is strong and all that. So, anything I can do for you, just let me know.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm gonna definitely get out to Sunnyvale. I have yet to meet Remy, so I got to come out and meet Remy. I'm pretty sure Abby is. She's too old. She's too old now. We can't even be cool anymore.
Yeah. She's at that age where
she's a teenager now, right?
I don't know if women ever grow out of that phase that they turn to when they hit about 13.
Right.
You know, I like to say it's just a phase, but I think she just became a woman. You know?
Right. As a person that's paying for a 14-year-old heading 15, I can appreciate what you're saying.
Yeah, Gavin, as long as you don't pick up the phone and somebody say click on the other end, you good.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, well, did I tell you mine? Did I tell you mine got caught on FaceTime? Or she fell asleep on the phone on FaceTime with a boy. And her mama called her.
Wow.
Yeah, already at 14, just hit high school. We already got that one going on.
Okay. Fall asleep.
Yeah, he's a football player too. I just don't know if he's an offensive or defensive guy. I'm praying
does that matter?
Well, if he's an offensive guy, that means he's always making moves. If he's defensive guy, I'm good. I'm more chill if he's a defensive guy.
I never heard that before. He's trying to sound off.
I'm just saying I don't want to date an offensive guy. He's always trying to score, so I prefer him to be a defensive guy. At least he's blocking.
You know, unless you go both ways.
Yeah. Today, that's a very fluid comment. Comment. So we'll go with that. Thank you again, Gavin, for joining us. Yeah, I tell you what, I'll let you know, but I think the Eagles game is what we're eyeing for the return of that tailgate.
Sounds like a plan, Stan.
All right, man. Thank you. Have a good evening. Well, and I'll definitely be listening to you tomorrow.
All right, Kendrick, Walt, salute to you guys. Have a great night. We'll catch up with you.
All right. That was the General Gavin Dawson joining us. What a great broadcast. Well, Kendrick, next week. Next Thursday.
4 days.
Thursday, we're gonna be out in Fort Worth, Funky Town, 817, Tarrant County, Haltom City, Grapevine, all surrounding areas. Kendrick is coming to see you live Thursday. Come see him. You don't get this opportunity much often. You got to get out here and meet this guy. Everybody loves him. He's a fan favorite. Yeah. We will be live at Very Best Barbecue. Very Best Barbecue. Kendrick says, come get some of the what's the brisket?
Brisket Frito pie.
Brisket Frito pie. Kendrick is looking forward to that. We're gonna be rolling out our $10 daily lunch specials that we got with our promo code right here. All you gotta do is scan it, take it to the website, and order it up. Just say bFb at the counter, and you will get the $10 daily lunch. Well, you can't do it because the flyer's right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. And plus, we'll talk more in detail about this on Thursday on how you can get this meal. But we're definitely going to be launching it on Thursday when we get out to a Very Best Barbecue with with most likely the Cowboys lost at this point. So do what you want with that.
Hey, at least those Amazon games, they'll be over quick. They don't really last that long.
That's a good point. It's a really good point. Well, hell, they'll be on the road, so I don't know if they'll be getting those interviews out as quick as they did today.
Probably not.
All right, man. So until Thursday night, live from Very Best Barbecue, keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars. Always do what's best for business. If we don't see you around, then we will see you around live this Thursday when the Cowboys take on the New York Football Giants on Amazon from Very Best Barbecue in Fort Worth. We're coming to see you, Tarrant County. We're coming to see you, 817. Get ready.
A holla.